Now, if you've ever said, didn't I already fix this? Or why is my hair acting up again? Or even if you said, my hair was doing good, but now it's not. I want you to know you're not going crazy. One of the biggest frustrations for women over 40 is feeling like your hair keeps going in circles. It gets dry, then it gets better, then it's dry again. It starts growing, then it slows down. Your edges fill in, and then thin again. A routine is working for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's not working anymore. After a while, it starts to feel like your hair just can't make up its mind, right? And that whole here we go again feeling is common. And I want you to remember something. Your hair is not random, and it's not switching up on you for no reason. Most of the time, your hair is responding to changes that you don't even realize are happening yet. And once you understand that, everything will start to make a little bit more sense, and you can stop looking at your hair like a one-time project. Now, if you're new here, my name is Kendra, founder of 180 Hair, and I help women understand their hair so they can stop guessing, stop product hopping, and start seeing real results. If you're frustrated with thinning, shedding, scalp issues, or even slow growth, you don't need another product. You need a system. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll share with you my 5-step system so you can learn to fix your hair in the right order. Now, I want you to know that if you think hair problems that repeat over and over again mean that you're doing something wrong, that is not always the case. Many times the real issue is that your hair is not the same as it used to be. If you're noticing the same frustrating flip-flop experiences over and over again, whether that's your moisture issues, you're not retaining length like you used to, your crown is not looking as full as it used to, the edges are not recovering as fast as they used to, and the routines that you swore by, again, they're just not giving what they used to give. Yes, that can feel discouraging, especially when you've put in so much work, you spend so much time, you put in so much money, right? These repeating problems don't always mean failure. Okay, a lot of times it just means that your hair is reacting to new conditions. And as we get older, okay, 45, 50, 55, 60, all right, we're staying in that pocket. As we get older, those conditions change more often than we realize. Your hair does not live by itself. It is not separate from the body, okay? So with that understanding, you have to know that it's going to respond to what's happening in your body, in your habits, and in your life. And those things will inevitably change over time, right? Because as we get older, we know that our hormones will change, stress levels, our sleep patterns tend to change, our diet, what we eat, what we don't eat, how we move our body, how healthy we are, our energy levels, the lifestyle that we live. All of those things change over time. So it makes sense that your hair would change too, because again, your hair is not separate from your body. The changes or the shifts that we see, hormones being one, it's probably one of the main changes that we see as women, right? And hormone changes can affect things in your hair like the thickness, the texture, how fast or slow it grows, and how fast or slow it recovers. And then of course we know stress. And I don't like to just use stress as an umbrella term because there's a lot of layers to stress, okay? But for the purposes of this video, I want to categorize it into like major body events. So those are things like illness, surgery, grief, of course, rapid weight changes, changes in medication. All of these things can lead to stress, which we know that stress or excess stress over time can push more hair into the shedding phase and trigger noticeable shedding, typically months after the stressful event starts or after it ends even, okay? Tension from tight hairstyles can cause traction alopecia over time. So I noticed many times that women that wore very tight hairstyles when they were younger, even in their mid to late 30s, often start to experience more traction alopecia later in life. Okay, and this is specifically seen around the hairline, the edges, of course, And you know, or we know that if the pulling continues long enough, it can become permanent. Most of the time, traction alopecia is reversible. The hair will regrow. But if we don't stop the tight hairstyles or give our hair a break or nourish our edges and all of those things, the hair loss becomes permanent. Okay. Scalp inflammation can slow growth and cause thinning. So that's why I tell you the scalp is a foundation for healthy hair growth. We want to make sure that our scalp is in a good enough condition to support healthy hair growth. So our scalp environment is very important. And then the damage that builds up over the years, even if you don't realize it. Okay, because we take a lot of hair history with us throughout our life. And all of this means your hair is responding. Okay, your hair is responding to all of that, just like your body. So again, the body keeps receipts. The hair keeps receipts. And if your hair is responding to changes, your routine has to respond as well. So just keep that in mind. Your hair is not separate from your body. If you're noticing changes in your hair, then we need to start to change the approach and the routine as well. Hair is not one long straight road, okay? It's a repeating loop. Each follicle on your head goes through phases. You have your anagen, which is the growth phase. You have your transition phase. You have the rest, and then the shedding phase, okay? This cycle keeps repeating throughout your entire life. But as you get older, the cycle can shift. All right. The growth phase may get shorter. Okay. We want our growth phase to be long. All right. But as we get older, it can get shorter. Shedding, when you experience shedding, or the shedding phase, can last longer sometimes. Hair may grow back, but it grows back finer. And then regrowth from any reason can take more time. Okay. And then on top of that, life is happening too, honey, right? Because in life, we go through phases and cycles and those types of things in our personal life. So we have seasons of stress, seasons of healing, seasons of change, seasons of stability, instability. Okay, seasons where we're rebuilding, and your hair follows you along in those seasons. And that's why you can't treat hair like a one-time project. Okay, it's likely always going to be doing something. It's a process. Okay, and once you see hair as a process instead of a quick fix, you can stop feeling like you're starting over every time something changes. One of the biggest mistakes I think we make when it comes to our hair is thinking that our hair problems only come from the outside. One thing we have to remember is your hair responds to more than just what you put on it. It responds to what's happening in your life. Okay, that's why I always talk about these three foundations. My 180 method is 3 pillars: mindset, habits, and nutrition, because your hair reacts to all three. All three are important in the story of your hair health. So let's talk about mindset first. Mindset is not just about positive vibes and saying affirmations or pretending everything is fine. Okay, those things are great, but they're surface level. Mindset is about not going into panic mode every time something changes. Hair loss and shedding are emotional. Okay, they can be emotionally heavy at times. And if you start stressing, we know that stress can be a trigger and a side effect, especially when you start seeing more hair on your brush, in your comb, or in your sink than usual. So remember that when your mind is in survival mode, your body can go into survival mode too, which will also affect your hair. When your body is in survival mode, your hair is not prioritized by your body. Sometimes some of the best things that we can do is just to slow down, observe what changed, and respond with a plan instead of panic. Mindset in practice looks like this: let me observe what's happening, identify what changed, and then respond with a plan. So now let's talk about my habits. Let's talk about habits. Daily habits matter more than you think, okay? Daily habits are how tight you style your hair, or how you style your hair, period. How often you wash your hair, shampoos, conditioners, how often you detangle, how you sleep and protect your hair while you sleep, how much tension you put on your hair, how consistent are you week to week or month to month or day to day. Okay, because small habits over time build strength with your hair. And I always tell women, you don't have to focus on everything at once. Small steps, okay? Small steps, small habits build strength over time, okay? And if we try to focus on too many things, we end up losing the consistency, okay? We are starting trying to do too many things at once, and then we end up not doing much of anything. That can also slowly create damage without you realizing it. So I always say, start with one thing. What is the one thing about your hair that you want to start being more intentional about, and focus on that? Okay. And then the next thing is nutrition. Nutrition matters because follicles are active and sensitive to changes in health, the health of your body, and the nutrients that you put in your body. Your follicles need fuel. That's why I created the digital guide, Your Hair is Hungry, Foods to Feed Your Follicles, that walks you through specific foods and nutrients that you should be consuming to help to feed your follicles, okay? Because your follicles need fuel. Now, when your body goes through changes, whether those changes are weight loss or stress or illness or diet changes, medications, hormones, all of the things, your hair can react. Sometimes slow, sometimes really, really fast. And that doesn't mean that you need to get every supplement on the internet, okay? It means that your body needs steady support, not random fixes. Nutrition isn't about chasing the newest gummy. Hair growth gummy. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you know how I feel about hair growth gummies, okay? I won't get into that in this video. But basic level nutrient support for your hair is food first, okay? Not gummies, not pills. Those things are called supplements for a reason. They are supposed to supplement what you're getting from natural sources, okay, which is food. So yeah, just remember that when it comes to nutrition, we always want to look at food first. A routine is not a married couple, okay? It does not come for better or for worse. You should not be married to your routine. Some of us needs a respectful breakup with our routine, okay? Because it's not matching our current hair conditions. Not the hair, our current hair, not the hair we had in our 20s, not the hair we had before menopause, not the hair we had before stress, not the hair somebody else got, not even the hair you had last year, your current hair, okay? Your routine should fit things like your scalp, your porosity, your strand structure, your curl pattern, your lifestyle, your energy, your schedule, the season of life that you're in, okay? And when your routine does not match the hair, it can feel like nothing is working. But actually, it's, again, the routine doesn't fit. Now, I know all those things that I mentioned sound like a lot. It's really not. It just goes to show you how important those aspects of your life and your hair contribute to what's going to work for it and what's not. So before you buy another miracle product or another jar or another shampoo or conditioner or copy somebody else's routine, I want you to pause and get very clear on your hair profile, okay? This is where the magic becomes practical, and I'm going to explain it to you. So there's a few things about your hair that you need to know. This is your hair profile, okay? The first thing, the most important thing, is your scalp condition. Remember I said earlier, your scalp is the foundation for healthy hair growth. You have to make sure that the environment of your scalp is good enough, okay, is in a good condition to produce healthy strands, okay? Your scalp, again, controls the environment that the hair grows from. Remember that your scalp is skin, okay? So if the environment is inflamed or irritated, it can affect how your hair grows, okay? So some clues that your scalp needs attention. These are things that you should not be ignoring under any circumstances, okay? Excessive itching, redness, scaling, pustules. If these things are showing up on your scalp, this could be things like traction alopecia or some other inflammation or inflammatory scalp issue. Things like flaking and itching, of course, we know that these are issues that we need to tend to as soon as possible. These can be things like seborrheic dermatitis. That type of dermatitis leads to a lot of itching, okay, a lot of scratching. And scratching will cause shedding, right? Although it's not permanent, but that amount of scratching or shedding can lead to a lot of hair loss. And remember, the hair takes longer to grow at times. Things like scalp psoriasis, that's another one that can cause hair loss, and scratching it can only make it worse, of course. If you're seeing your hair thinning at the crown, it's tender, it's burning, it's itching, a shiny appearance, this can line up with things like permanent hair loss. So noticing these things early can help to prevent hair loss that you can't regrow. All right. So another thing that you need to know about your hair while you're creating your routine is your porosity. Okay. If I had to say the second most important thing you need to know about your hair, aside from the scalp, is the porosity. Why? Is because this affects how your hair holds moisture. Porosity is just basically how easily your hair takes and holds in water. Treatments and things that we do to our hair over time, like bleaching, straightening, high heat processing, can detach and lift the cuticle layers. I don't want to get too much into the science of that, but at the end of the day, this disrupts how your hair holds water or how your hair retains moisture. Okay, so if your hair gets wet really fast and then dries really fast, gets rough really easy, that may be high porosity. Okay, if water beads up on your hair, products don't tend to penetrate, they just kind of sit on top, that could be lower porosity hair. Another thing that you need to know about your hair is the strand structure, the structure of your strands, because this affects strength and breakage. So the strand diameter, or how thick or thin your actual hair is, contribute to what we call hair strength. We need to understand this because fine strands, if you have really fine hair, not thin hair, fine hair, it can get weighed down more easily, okay, and be more vulnerable to different types of damage. Now, if you have coarser hair that's not fine, it can tolerate more manipulation or more styling or more products, but it can still break if your cuticle is compromised. Okay, I know I'm saying a lot here. Don't worry, we're going to get through all of it. Okay. But either way, we want to control the damage by doing things like gentle detangling when our hair is wet, minimizing friction, using heat protectants. If you're somebody that has to use heat on your hair, heat protectants are going to be your best friend. Okay. Because if you don't do those protective measures, you will end up with breakage. And breakage is the thief of length. Number 3, the third most important thing, although this is not, or no, this is number 4, sorry, is going to be your curl pattern. Now, curl pattern is not as important as the first 2 or the third, but it is useful especially if you're somebody that wears your hair natural, okay, because this affects the shrinkage or how you approach your detangling. But it's not the whole story. It is important, but it's not the whole story. And mostly because we have this one size fits all classification for curly and coily hair. Although it's good as a baseline, it's very much oversimplified. Okay, so I don't want you to focus on your curl pattern alone. Just kind of have an idea, because you may have more than one. You may have 3, 4, or 5 different curl patterns in one head, and that's totally normal. Okay, so it matters, but it's not the whole story. Okay, when you know these things about your hair, your scalp health, your porosity, your strand structure, your curl pattern, this helps you to stop guessing when creating your routine, and it makes your routine become more of a strategy. Now, if you've made it this far and you're thinking, yep, that's exactly what my hair has been doing, ma'am. Yep, that sounds about right. Then the problem probably is not that your hair will not grow. Okay. It's not that you just need another product either. Most of the time, the real issues is that you've been trying to fix the hair without a system. That's exactly why I created the program Hair Rehab. Hair Rehab is not another product or trend. It's a step-by-step process that helps you fix your hair in the right order, so you stop guessing, stop starting over, stop product hopping, and stop feeling like nothing is working anymore. Because when you understand your hair and the phase that your hair is in, and you match your routine to that, everything starts to make more sense. The first step in hair rehab I always teach in this video is part of step 1 in hair rehab, which is clarity. Because before we change the routine or buy new products or try another style, we have to understand our hair. And once we do that, once we understand our hair, then we can build a routine that actually fits us, okay, that actually fits you. So if you're ready to start that process, I'll leave the link below. I'll leave a link to join Hair Rehab, but also a link to learn your hair profile as well, okay? Because when you have clarity, you stop chasing quick fixes, all right? You stop wasting money. You stop getting frustrated and stressed out because you're doing all these things and trying all these things and nothing is working. I want you to rebuild your hair with purpose, with a strategy, with a system, okay? So let me know in the comments the cycle that your hair keeps repeating that's keeping you frustrated. And remember, as always, you deserve hair that's healthy and growing. It's my mission to help you get there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.